Ignatius, who is also Theophorus, to Polycarp, who is bishop of the assembly of the Smyrnians, or rather, who have for his bishop God the Father and Jesus Christ. Greetings abundant. Welcoming your godly mind, which is grounded, as it were, on an immovable rock. I give exceeding glory that it has been granted to me to see your blameless face, whereof I would have joy in God. I exhort you in the grace where you are clothed to press forward in your course and to exhort all men that they may be saved. Vindicate your office in all diligence of flesh and of spirit. Have a care for union, in which there is nothing better. Bear with all men, as the Lord also bears with you. Suffer all men, in love, as also the Lord does to you. Give yourself to unceasing prayers. Ask for larger wisdom than you have. Be watchful, and keep your spirit from slumbering. Speak to each man individually after the manner of God. Bear the sickness of all, as a perfect athlete. Where there is more toil, there is much gain. If you love good scholars, this is not thankworthy in you. Rather bring the more pestilent to submission by gentleness. All wounds are not healed by the same balm. Diminish sharp pains by goading. Be prudent as the serpent in all things, and innocent always as the dove. Therefore you are made of flesh and spirit, that you may entertain the things which appear before your eyes. And as for the invisible things, pray that they may be revealed to you, that you may be lacking in nothing, but may flourish in every spiritual gift. The season requires you, as pilots of ships require winds, or as a storm-tossed sailor a haven, that it may attain to God. Be sober, as God's athlete. The prize is incorruption and life eternal, concerning which you also are persuaded. In all things I am devoted to you, I and my bonds which you did cherish. Let not those that seem to be plausible, and yet teach strange doctrine, dismay you. Stand firm, as an anvil when it is struck. It is the part of a great athlete to receive hits and be victorious, but especially must we, for God's sake, endure all things, that he also may endure us. Be more diligent than you are. Mark the seasons. Await him that is above every season, the eternal, the invisible, who became visible for our sake, the impalpable, the impassible, who suffered for our sake, who endured in all ways for our sake. Let not the widows be neglected. After the Lord, you must be their protector. Let nothing be done without your consent. Neither should you do anything without the consent of God, as indeed you do not. Be steadfast. Let meetings be held more frequently. Seek out all men by name. Despise not slaves, whether men or women. Yet let not these again be puffed up, but let them serve the more faithfully to the glory of God, that they may obtain a better freedom from God. Let them not desire to be set free at the public cost, or else they will be found slaves of lust. Flee evil arts, or rather hold your discourse about these. Tell my sisters to love the Lord and to be content with their husbands in flesh and in spirit. In like manner, also charge my brothers in the name of Jesus Christ to love their wives, as the Lord loved the assembly. If anyone is able to abide in chastity, to the honor of the flesh of the Lord, let him so abide without boasting. If he boast, he is lost. And if it be known beyond the bishop, he is polluted. It becomes men and women too, when they marry, to unite themselves with the consent of the bishop, that the marriage may be after the Lord and not after strong sexual desires. Let all things be done to the honor of God. Give yourself heed to the bishop, that God also may give heed to you. I am devoted to those who are subject to the bishop, the presbyters, the deacons. May it be granted me to have my portion with them in the presence of God. Toil together with one another, struggle together, run together, suffer together, lie down together, rise up together, as God's stewards and assessors and ministers. Please the captain in whose army you serve, from whom also you will receive your pay. Let none of you be found a deserter. Let your baptism abide with you as your shield, your faith as your helmet, your love as your spear, your patience as your body armor. Let your works be your deposits, that you may receive your assets due to you. Be therefore long-suffering one with another in gentleness, as God is with you. May I have the joy of you always. seeing that the assembly which is in Antioch of Syria have peace, as it has been reported to me, through your prayers. I myself also have been the more comforted, since God has banished my care. If so, I may, through suffering, attain to God, that I may be found a disciple through your intercession. It becomes you, most blessed Polycarp, to call together a godly council, and to elect someone among you who is very dear to you, and zealous also, who shall be fit to bear the name of God's courier. To appoint him, I say, that he may go to Syria and glorify your zealous love unto the glory of God. A Christian has no authority over himself, but gives his time to God. This is God's work, and yours also, when you shall complete it. For I trust in the divine grace that you are ready for an act of well-doing, which is meet for God. Knowing the fervor of your sincerity, I have exhorted you in a short letter. Since I have not been able to write to all the assemblies, by reason of my sailing suddenly from Troas to Neapolis, as the divine will urge, you shall write to the assemblies in front, as one possessing the mind of God, to the intent that they also may do this same thing. Let those who are able send messengers, and the rest letters by the persons who are sent by you, that you may be glorified by an ever-memorable deed, for this is worthy of you. I salute all by name, and especially the wife of Epitripus, with her whole household and her children's. I salute Attalus, my beloved. I salute him that shall be appointed to go to Syria. Grace shall be with him always, and with Polycarp, who sends him. I bid you farewell always in our God Jesus Christ, in whom you join together in the unity and supervision of God. I salute Alce, a name very dear to me. Farewell in the Lord.